It's still going!
Oh no, I rolled 10,000.
What was relevant from last time, eh?
Frogs.
Yeah.
Wizard, his magic's fine, but anyone else with magic is a risk.
Yeah, there was a wizard, but the frogs were more important.
Well, the frogs were because of him. But we all know the most important thing was that fancy hood.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Fishonius has quite the sense of fashion.
You will all have fantastic fashion by the end of this.
I don't need to have
No.
fantastic fashion. I
Oh.
am fashion.
I
Good.
still think my fashion's better than yours too. But we are the same color palette, so it's fine.
You just have to remember you're dealing with a narcissist, so it really doesn't matter.
Is it blue or green?
Both.
Alright. I just gotta grab your tokens. Move you to the appropriate locations. Pop him. Alright.
Did we end at the wizard's tower?
You did. You had returned.
Yeah.
Oh, duplicate fishiness. Nope. Goodbye. And Lily is going to... Yes. Because we just play sloppy with missing characters. The wizard and the peasant.
Thank you. I'm a wizard now.
Rejoin, and the tiefling sister just vanishes for the time being.
A fair trade.
Yeah. Meeting up at the front of a, what did I say, 5-story wizard's tower with a door that only appears once you get close to it.
Well, we go in, right?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
We gotta give the wizard back the thing he wants.
Right.
Unsnap you.
Oh, why did that happen? Oh, I see. Move there.
The crow just
The raven appears to be
refuses.
slightly dislocated when I move it.
Yeah.
just-
Hold on. Hold on.
I love that it gets worse every time.
Because
too.
the raven still snapped the grid. That was why. So it'd keep trying to register it in a grid, but you're not in the grid.
Very good. We got your toad snot.
Oh. Well. And and it didn't take you it did take you longer than expected.
We took care of some business first.
Well, as long as all is received, may I see the vials?
Yeah, let's hand them all the vials.
Alright, kind of just... Thank you. This stuff is, somewhat rudimentarily useful to me. Acts as a very effective distilling agent for water. And, having seen and judging how you handle the situation, well, I mean, it didn't take much to turn to violence, but I wasn't expecting you to spare the toads anyway.
We left one alive.
You did. You went for purely the objective I had granted you. to be fair, those toads have actually been a bit of an issue to some people traveling by river. A few people have gone missing, but the one left behind will likely scurry off to a different pond and be less of an issue now that it knows there's a far more threatening presence. I judge you good, for the more part, or at the very least, effective for your job. And as for my reward for you, you had wanted information on what is going on with that thing, that mark on you.
That would be it, yes.
Well, I have a collection of information, some details, and some potentially good and bad news. Well, starting off, basics, it would appear that you are dealing with, as mentioned before, a Dullahan of sorts, a headless horseman. You had mentioned that it had demanded that you find a traitor, a person. This implies to me that this is not some raised aspect of the negative realm returned to serve some master, but rather an actual living spirit that is refused to pass on in search of vengeance. Likely vengeance for the way that it died. Betrayal is a nasty thing, and is famously known for producing such revenants of sort. As for the curse itself, what it is, the curse seems to likely be some kind of connection between you and the undead. Tell me, have you experienced any changes, sensations, or anything with the mark upon you?
Yeah, it's associated with certain places.
Is there anything, any clarity to provide? What places?
Just
Here.
Yeah, while we're here, there's like a tugging sensation. It becomes uncomfortable. When we're not here, it's less noticeable.
Within my tower, or?
Oh,
In the
Right.
in the city.
And you said that it was very vague in its instructions. It told you to just bring the traitor to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a guess on what this curse may be doing. First, I think it's a sensory connection. Not so much that the Dullahan can hear or see everything that you're experiencing, but I think that it has some way of detecting or knowing what it is that is happening around or to you. I also believe that may be why you may have some kind of sensory reaction. It may be using this mark as a way to help you know when you're close. Although I would admit it may be a little difficult considering the nature of the town. When this town was founded, it was blessed by a priest. A blessing supposedly grants some protection against, well, against the vile, the fiendish, and the evil. Which may actually be why the Dullahan does not pursue its prey directly. I think who it is you're looking for lives within the town, and is using the covenant protection to protect them from a adversary or a friend they betrayed at some point, who has now risen as this Dullahan.
well, their actions have gotten an entire settlement killed. So I think that they need to answer for at least something.
I mean, did the Dullahan kill an entire settlement?
Indeed,
Yeah, there was a hamlet that got attacked.
with an army of undead.
Well, an army changes things. Just a little bit. Revenants are not normally known for raising their own forces.
But I assume most undead don't ride around on horses carrying their own head.
No. Dullahan are a special case. They're not specifically revenants per se, but they have a similarity. though it is a little unsettling. If it is capable of commanding a force, there may be more at play than merely its search for vengeance. Regardless, you have a point. There is some need to deal somewhat with this situation. If this is truly going on, then it could be a significant issue. Of course, it would do you no good to still be bound to the entity. While I suspect that the spell does very little in what it directly does to you, but is definitely of great power, it is likely very close to nigh unbreakable without very particular circumstances, none of which I know of. But I can think of ways of relieving yourself of this curse.
Right.
The first would be placate the creature. Find this person, bring him to it. It will likely release you. In all circumstances, if the Dullahan works like other spirits that seek vengeance, it will likely pass on once it has satisfied its reason to exist. Even if it were subject to other greater power, if this is the actual being who was once alive, it would have no ability to stay, even if bound by someone else's spell. The spirit, unless cursed, would be free to leave once it had satisfied its search for vengeance. At least that's the typical. I'll admit, as a mage, knowledge of the undead is more the field of the holy man than it is the field of most practicing mages, especially those who had practiced here in the Empire before its fall, considering the outlaw upon necromancy. The second way would be a little bit more of a workaround. If you can't find the person that it seeks, perhaps you might be able to use some other means of getting rid of the Dullahan itself. Binding or sealing it might be a viable option. It is a way that ancient civilizations dealt with issues they could not kill in the past. I know of a few stories of demons and devils that were turned to stone rather than slain because they were too dangerous to kill. However, Dullahan, an undead spirit, is not its body. The body is merely a vessel. The spirit would have to be sealed. That would require a different kind of magic. I know some tale, though not much. Legends claim that the elves before practiced some level of magic of binding and manipulating souls. Though I doubt it's easily found. There are ruins about. Perhaps, if your friend's claim is true, you will be able to find a ruin that might have some of these old magics. There's no guarantees there. Such things would have been heavily guarded. I doubt anybody but the highest elite amongst their mages would actually have known about these practices. If there are other solutions to the Dullahan, I do not know them. It is not particularly my field of expertise. Though if we continue business together, I might dedicate more resources and time to discovering and finding more information on the creature. Does this information satisfy?
Orku will zip out of the backpack and then point a quivering wand at the mage.
You might want to put that down. That's dangerous to do.
But
I can't trust you like everyone else can, especially considering the kind of task that we just did for you. I need truthful answers to some questions for me to trust you.
Well, I do not expect you to trust. I expect you to keep what you need, but sure. Ask away.
We'll then use message to ask a few questions. The cantrip. So
I'm guessing you're going to try to sneak this. Technically, message is still spoken, just very quietly, which means it can technically be overheard. I bring this up for rule's sake, and because potential intrigue.
Well, I think this spell says that it can't be overheard.
Does it? If it does, then I am wrong. And
It says target and only the target hears a message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
okay. All right.
Is it vocal that you have to speak your question?
It is a whisper. The way that I kind of read it is that there's a trigger word that's spoken, and then the rest of it is a silent whisper.
I think it is technically. I think the spell was originally built so that it could be overheard if somebody tried hard enough.
Okay.
I'm just staring hard at the wizard because I don't trust him either.
Fair enough.
It's not to trust.
So
He's a human. He says I'm dangerous. Plenty of things.
Oh, that's a fair point.
so
Am I dangerous?
We
I
got the info we needed. We don't necessarily need to stick around.
DM'd you a few questions, Josh. Just partially because of the backstory revealing nature of the questions.
Yeah, I dropped a lot of my backstory openly with this guy, and he's just a sarcastic ass. So I don't trust him.
I wish I could drop
Hey.
something other than my body.
Head pads for the sister.
So you say we don't have to trust you, but then you say in business. Like, are we getting paid here, or are you just giving us information that still doesn't answer our questions while we do work for you?
Well, if you have a direct question I can answer, I will happily provide within some reason. And there is definitely talk of future payments. This is somewhat more of a job to establish whether or not you will. Well, it's for me to make a judgment of character, is what this job was. Especially with how many of
And
you
what
are
do
wielding
How
magic.
do you prove your character? You're wielding magic, more powerful magic than us. So how are you going to prove your character to us?
Well, that's the funny thing. See, I'm the one trusted by the governor to make sure that things are kept stable and sound on the magical front. You are not.
And I care why.
Only in that if you cause a problem for the town, you will have to deal with me. Otherwise, you can walk out and we'll never see me again. That's fine. Of course, I am curious about your ability of magic, and perhaps I can help tutor or teach some control, maybe.
Though you know nothing of it.
Well, I'm not a practicer through the means by which you do, but magic is a field of which one can learn, and understanding grants greater control. Even a sorcerer can gain advantages or abilities from understanding how the veils work and how they relate to them.
So is the answer no for the 3 questions, Josh?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Just mechanically wise, I'm curious, did you word 3 questions and 25 words or under, or are you rapid firing message at him?
There's 3
Or whisper?
messages.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, that's a...
I think the 25 words is for the leveled spell.
That's for sending, right?
Yeah, that's for sending, but I mean, I kind of imagine that message would have a similar limitation, even though it doesn't say it.
It does not have a word
Plus,
for that.
they they respond once, so it's like hopefully they got all 3 of your questions the first time. So makes sense just to rapid fire multiple over.
It also makes sense that it's not limited because it's cantrip.
True.
I think the limit. It's got a range, doesn't it? Of like
It has a range limit.
A range, and you have to like be facing the correct direction.
I think it's a line of
lures-
sight, or you have to know the creature.
Florku lowers his wand and takes a deep breath.
Okay.
Do you keep your other wand, like, sashed on you, or in a bag or something?
Yeah, they're both on a sash.
Gonna. By the way, little sprite, by the by, it is amazing to see a group of travelers with such a rare companionship. But to be fair, that seems to be praise that can be granted to multiple times to your accompaniment. But why do you carry 2 of those wands? I notice that one seems to be, if my discerning eye is clear, made of yew wood.
They have different purposes.
So you're using multiple wands to tap into the different veils of magic. So you are...
I can do different kinds of magic.
It is very interesting. I'm just a little surprised. I assume then that you haven't been studied or trained on the use of components to tap into all the layers of the veil. Or perhaps the wands are a personal choice of interest. Just a curious inquiry.
I haven't been trained, no. My pixie dust and magic casting is different than other pixies.
Well, if ever you wish to acquire a component pouch, I have a few. The components I keep are capable of tapping into all veils of magic, whereas a focus like your wands are specifically tuned to only one of the particular veils through which magic can be tapped or connected to.
Okay.
I don't have a wand or a little pouch of stuff.
Yes. Are you... I hope it's not too much of a stretch, but are you capable of manifesting magic without such things?
I guess so.
It's very interesting. I do wish I could be more knowledgeable on the subject. If I could study your abilities without taking away time from your likely growing business as sellswords, mercenaries, the lot, whatever, I would certainly spend time to try to better understand it. But yes, should we continue to ever do business, of course, I will pay more appropriately. Beyond that, no, I do not expect you to trust me. We have only met.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. Should I come across more, and should we continue conversation in the future, I will surely see if I can provide more knowledge or information on the subject of your situation. To be fair, much knowledge has been lost due to the fall of the Empire and some of the difficulties with trade. We are in troubled times.
Okay.
Oh. Nope, never mind. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Oof.
Oof.
Can Solar ask him a question?
You can speak away.
All right. This is gonna sound weird and dumb. But have you seen anyone that looks like or not like me? That is the best way I can phrase that question.
We'll just kind of
Here comes the sarcasm.
saddle back. It's just me. I'm just sarcastic on this stuff. What other answer is there? I have seen many people. Some do not look like, most do not look like you.
No, there's just one of them.
You're not giving me much to work off of.
I'm giving you plenty to work off of, too much even.
I see a person standing in front of me, and you ask if I have seen anybody who looks like you or not like you.
Yes. I'm Solar, by the way.
Hello, Solar.
Well, thanks anyway.
I am Marizal Evanstar, the local wizard.
I see.
Are you a practitioner of magic? If so, I just have to warn you that don't cause a problem for the people in the town, or I will destroy you.
Not if I destroy myself first by accident. What are you gonna do then?
Clean up the mess.
That's a fair response. But that's on you.
So I guess my question on not disturbing the people in the town is it seems that our curse has brought us to someone within this town.
Yes. There is some appropriate leeway I can provide, of course. If we have someone who is distinctively and truly despicable within our midst, they must be brought out and dealt with. One who has betrayed or acted traitorous before will likely do so again. At least, that is the common. Brain just went dead. Rebooting.
Pizza rolls are done.
When I speak concerning disturbing the people, it's more or less don't set anything on fire or use your magic maliciously to the common folk. Do things magical that would be perceived as untoward by the common folk. Otherwise, they might witch hunt. Which will cause me problems as well. There are already rumors of wielders of magic wandering about the wilderness, underground necromancers who now no longer have to hide their identities, strange wielders of magic in the wilderness, twisting trees and shaping nature. There's a lot of talk, a lot of concern. A lot of people are scared of magic right now. Things that might make them blame magic casters like myself of, say, example, the idea that all magic is evil or practiced by diabolical, selfish, or vile beings is something I would like to avoid having occur. For the most part, a good cheat sheet is don't set anything on fire. That's a good start. And don't use your magic to cause damage or harm to those who are not clearly and understandably guilty of something. I hope that answers your inquiry.
Yep.
Well,
I like this guy. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I like this guy. Thumbs up. That's all.
If you hang around long enough, I will feel socially pressured to get out the tea.
Ooh.
That's a threat.
Oh. Is he like stay walking towards the door then?
I shall threaten you with homemade tea.
Homemade? I should probably go.
Mhm.
He scares me.
Fishman.
Fishman stays.
We'll only do this
He wants the tea.
on. I don't do this too often, but okay.
This guy's gotta have at least something in charisma.
Yeah, something. Maybe like his class's second main ability score.
I don't remember. No, I remember what he's playing now.
I'm going to guess that Sir Aquarius is not currently present.
Seems like it.
All right.
Yeah.
I will just stick him in bed. Okay. Well, what do you do next? It is getting to a later evening, later time of the day. I mean, traveled around town a bunch. It was
See
already
that.
midday by the time that you had arrived. You went out and did a job, so the sun's getting low.
See that Stephanie is here now.
Huh?
F. Let me just
You are alive.
re-exist your token.
I am and I am not here.
Oh,
Physically, not mentally.
all right,
Yeah.
understood.
Alright, I got 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep last night. And then I've got a 2:30.
Oh, right. Let's give the familiar back to its wizard.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I had to step away for like the last
Oh.
10 minutes or so. What happened?
You had tea with a wizard.
Oh,
Apparently, we're just gonna decide that. Okay, let's.
I have no idea.
Blank the entire time, just sipping
The
tea.
pixie came out of his bag.
I
There was-
get behind that.
There was some talk of questions about why he used 2 wands. Trying to summarize some stuff. Did you hear the parts about the Dullahan?
About us breaking the curse from him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was right when Floricu came out.
Okay.
when I left.
He just threateningly pointed the wand and then stopped threateningly pointing.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then the wizard talked something about veils of magic and how different wands are capable of reverberating or touching them, and how components and a pouch might work with all of them. And then there was questions about I think the last question was some clarification on disturbing the people with magic, which was basically don't harm people with magic. If you make people start to believe that that magic is being used to wrong them, they might go into a witch hunt.
Don't do it, Joseph.
And that's going to be a problem for everybody, not just your group, but every wielder of magic is going to be potentially burned if that happens.
Okay. Let's start a witch trial.
Yeah, just kind of, mostly that's just establishing, hey, yeah, don't abuse your magic because people are going to react, and it's not pleasant when a mob comes after you.
That's why AoE spells exist.
Ah, yes, confirm their bias.
You have magic fireball.
Yes. There would be some
But
magic,
considering
yeah.
a typical town has a growing town has a population of somewhere around 1,000 to 2,000 people,
We could beat them.
fireball starts to become less effective when you're being swarmed.
Well,
Very true.
it depends on the. You don't never mind.
We're not even
Let's move on.
high enough level to cast fireball.
That's true too.
All right. If the town goes on us, we throw Fishonius for. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'll take them all on myself.
I'm
Oh,
not
no.
sure, but the barbarian and Fishonius, the Death Tower might be able to handle them, but they're terrifying. You just
I'd say-
scare me.
I want to level up because my next level I'm actually going to probably be even more tanky.
Are you picking up town?
Okay. But yes,
Yeah.
and then they all walked out after he had threatened that if they stuck around too long, he would get out the homemade tea.
Ooh, which apparently I did say and I tried.
It is awful.
Oh,
It
well,
is.
He has to show face, so he pretends it is good.
Oh, he drinks it like it's nothing. But this is like dirt poison. It's awful. It's horrible.
Showing face. Definitely gonna pretend it's okay.
Yeah.
Get distracted with the side story about some wonderful
also-
tea that he's had somewhere
It's
else.
vitamin water.
It's also provided in like some kind of alchemical like tin cup. Like that doesn't actually keep around, it seems, fancy glasses despite the size of his tower.
You're probably getting leftover chemicals in there too.
Possibly.
You will be.
I live in the ocean. I get all the chemicals already.
But then like just part of me is just kind of like, okay, yeah, one moment, just gonna go into his notes. +1 rep or Fishonius +1 rep with the wizard because he drank his tea.
Yes.
It probably wasn't worth it.
Probably not. Oh well.
Alright. Now,
Catching up.
where do you go? It is looking late in the day. Considering everything that you've done, I think it's generous to at least say the sun is going down.
I need a long rest. Yes.
Yeah, we might as well turn in, spend the rest of the night in the pub or whatnot.
I also might need to haggle somebody for something.
The only thing I could think before heading to the inn, which I got 3 rooms, so I think we're okay. But if we want to go look at like the job board and see if there's something we want to set off for in the morning.
It's not a turd. Yeah.
Works for me.
Works for me.
All right, why not?
Alright. You gonna check out the tavern then for that?
Yeah, I mean it's connected to the inn, right?
Yes, it is. It's built a little bit to the side and underneath. which is not reflected in the map I have because I can't do layers like that, which is fine. I don't need them to do that.
Dimensions.
Yeah, we don't need 3D dimension stuff. Alright, the tavern has just large enough of a door the centaur can try to get in. But he's kind of got to sloop down just a little bit, but there's kind of, actually, it's a staircase down, so there's a little bit of a roof, a little bit more headroom, since it goes down a bit, but rises above the ground level, so there's a little room. Still, cool. You imagine if anything's hanging a little low from the ceiling, you're gonna hit it with your head.
Alright, I'll just have to be careful.
Alright, since it's later in the evening, peasants. Ooh. Peasants are present. Oh, I didn't find him.
Peasants.
Peasants, woo! I'm never gonna find Henry's peasant picture again.
Oh, Henry.
It's so sad. I've looked. I can't find that guy. And I know I have it saved somewhere on my computer.
I miss him so much.
The dumbest thing. I don't even... I just like using that picture. I'm actually going to desperately give a quick look. No, it's not there. Hey, I found it.
Yay!
Why not? Just... Nope, does not exist there, but I did find it. Okay, I'm literally going through the effort just because I love this guy's picture because he looks so dead inside.
Beautiful.
Just...
There he
Look
is.
at how dead that looks. Just look at it. His eyes. He's just dead inside. That's my Henry portrait. Anyway, let's just... You know what?
I love that his name is Peasant or Henry. It's not Peasant Henry, it's Peasant or Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I use it for Henry.
Henry got the chance while he was, and you know, his lineage lives on.
His lineage lives on because he makes poor life decisions and other people let him.
Shouldn't have given him anything.
What happened?
Not our fault you gave us Henry with the most depraved group of adventurers you've seen yet.
What happened?
We gave him money and he gets a hooker.
Yes.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
He's an illiterate,
You
dumb,
give him money.
poor choice-making peasant from like 300 years ago.
The lad indebted himself to the worst group of adventurers around.
Yeah. I chose to just not add chairs to this map. So we just assume that there are chairs, since it's easier that way.
I do not see anything other than the full map.
Uh,
Oh, there we are. Yay.
Works for me too.
Boom. Alright, as you kind of wander into the place, you can see there's a collection of... One moment. A few peasants who look a little unwell, shall we say, gathered around one table. There's a man sitting in the corner whose token doesn't have all of its art attached for some reason. Kind of graying hair, and he has kind of a burn mark like scar X. The shape is too intentional to be an accident. And the scarring is almost kind of like a burn mark. Sitting in the corner, and he just kind of has like a pocketbook out, and he's just kind of sifting through some of the stuff, and he eyes you as you kind of walk in, going from one page to another, and just kind of checks some details and shakes his head. And across the room you can see a set of mugs moving, but nobody there. Before...
Where's this?
One moment. Up. So, you can see mugs making their way before seeing a little person with a few wood mugs who just kind of hands out drinks. And all right, don't drink too much. You're not looking so great as it is already. I'm not your mom, I know. So, as long as you're paying, right? These two will shiftily look and leave their drinks, as these six will get up and leave the moment pay is mentioned. Freeloaders. New patronage. Welcome, come in to the Flaming Flower Tavern. You are very big.
I had noticed, thank you.
Do you want some drinks? They're not gonna have them.
Very much.
All right, I'll just struggles to kind of put them on the counter.
I'll pick him up and move him up there if she's doing that.
Thank you.
What's this gonna run me?
Oh, well, that depends on what the guide says. If you're just here to get drinks and you're not doing anything important, then, well, for each drink, a silver piece.
All right. How many drinks?
He had brought out 3.
My yogurt's frozen.
All right. I'll give 3 silver.
All right. If you want any pie, it's almost out. I'll bring it out if you're interested in due time. I thought I would be serving a different crowd, but hey, if somebody wants to eat it, who am I to complain where the coin's coming from, right? Anyway, I actually should check on it.
The people that left the bar, did they leave without paying?
They did. They didn't take the drinks either, though.
So what, like, how much did the bartender lose?
He brought out 3 mugs, but gave them to the centaur since they didn't pay for it.
Okay, but they didn't, like, steal from him then?
No.
Okay.
They scampered out the moment he asked them to pay him.
Oh, that makes sense.
Seems that thievery is punished pretty poorly here. I would be surprised if they had just stolen something.
Okay. All right. The guide. Person here. You were looking for a job board, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to say there is no board with job postings. But you
Oh,
were
so
told
lucky
that you were
guy.
to go here if you were looking for a job.
Alright.
And you remember that they had mentioned that there was a guy who could give the jobs. AKA. Probably this guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
He has a bit of a hefty bag hanging from his belt as well, seemingly some kind of coin or such. Pocketbook, and he kind of just gives a little look, and you can tell he's kind of eyeing the fact that each of you have like weapons or other such things, or just strange. He'll kind of just close up his book and kind of wander up to the to this table. Is this a full package, or are you working separate?
I would say we're working together, unless someone is going to say otherwise.
Nah, I work alone.
Now, the carry of weapons is customary in these parts, but the strange nature, I have to ask, are you mercenaries?
Yes.
I
Supposedly.
guess we could be for the right amount.
Okay, good. Such types do tend to come through here, so I keep an eye. I'm the guide. If a job shows up, I'm the one you would get it from. Unless, of course, somebody goes to you directly around or behind my back. So, just here for drinks?
No.
What
In the
are we
wrong
here for?
job? Were we jobbing?
Yeah, that's what we came here for.
Just making sure.
Any
Alright.
jobs?
Well, actually, not any right now. Save for a few little cleanup things that might be, well, good for starting folk.
We talking like sweeping floors or something?
More like dealing with pests.
I'm down.
As long as these pests aren't as big as my friend over here points at the centaur, I think we're good.
It might be.
Do any of them involve giant toads?
Acidic nature saliva.
Thought you liked being in the water.
Oh, I do. But if that one does include toads, we've already done it.
Wow. And actually, I had a small request from a man living outside of town, a wizard, but it sounds like you've already met him if you were dealing with toads earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Oh, a shame.
Sucked.
He got to you before I did.
So, please tell us what you have.
That was actually the job.
Oh,
We're on a decent calm right now, but I'll let you know as soon as I can. That is, of course, if I have a job I can trust you with.
Wait, could we have actually made money for doing that? You
Yeah.
were gonna pay for that to be done?
Yeah, what a convenient thing. I didn't have to.
Ugh. I'm gonna walk towards the bar to get a drink after that.
We're gonna follow.
Oh,
I'm just holding 3 mugs, and it doesn't look like I'm going to share them at all.
My precious.
Pie is ready. Who's gonna take this off my hands? 5
That's
silver
over
and you
there.
get a pie.
Oh, 5 silver. We all pitching in?
I
Someone
can cover
cover
another
me.
silver.
I'll pay for it.
All right.
Is that 5 silver for like
Oh,
a
very-
full pie, or 5 silver for a hand pie each?
It is a fairly large full pie. I don't know why I did chat on that, because he was not the one saying that.
All right, sounds like someone at the table's gonna get that, and then if I can get drinks for the rest of us.
I can pitch in the silver.
All right.
I'll cover the rest then. So 4 silver from me.
All right. Where do you want the pie? Spacebar gives you the
yeah.
arrow.
Oh, just at this table here.
All right. I'll kind of plop it down.
And how many silver for a drink? 1 silver each drink?
One piece of a drink. Yep.
Who all wants one? I'll get one for everyone that wants one.
I would like one.
I'll grab one.
Never had alcohol. Don't know what it's like. Ooh.
I'll just buy. I'll just get 8, and we'll just drink them as they go. So I will give her a gold for that.
There's 7 of them. Right? Oh,
I think there's
usually
8.
count the pixie.
Oh, and who knows who wants more than one, so.
Yeah, the effects of drinking an entire pint of ale for a pixie.
Sounds lethal.
It does.
Yeah.
Bright side, you can swim in it.
All I can think
Maybe,
of
yeah.
is that scene in Lord
Willow.
of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh,
where
they come in pints.
I'm getting one.
I was thinking of Willow and the brownies falling into the alcohol and beer.
Forgot about that scene. It's pretty great.
All right.
Yeah.
Drinks are distributed.
Imran will carefully, when the barkeep is not around, remove his mouthpiece so that he can eat, revealing his very very clear, very sharp fang, or mouth of fangs.
Yeah.
My, what large fangs you have.
Well, you're one of the
Oh,
more
the
interesting groups to pass through these parts. Most of the people who come through here are either tall folk, or the common tall folk, you know, plain, bland looking. Nothing fancy like you guys. That or they're the occasional dwarf. On rare
Thank you for
occasions,
noticing how fancy we are.
yeah.
We.
On very rare occasions, I get to see one of my own fellowkin. But, we're all scattered about, so I don't get to see them very often. But, I now have a great story of the red centaur who walked into my place and took his fair share of alcohol. Don't drink too much of this stuff. I don't know what will happen if you get... Well, maybe you'll be fine. You're very large after all.
Yeah, I don't think this many drinks are going to do much for my alcohol percentage, blood percentage. That's right.
Do you have a thimble?
I have small glasses, really expensive stuff, crystal glass.
Do you think it would be okay if I took off my hood?
Most people don't take kindly to it.
It's a little suffocating in here. She's like kind of picking at her hood.
I was suddenly hit with a strong craving to eat, and there's food right next to me, so I began to engorge.
He's gorging. Gorging.
So, I don't have really anybody else except that guy, and don't look at me. I just want my drink. I'm tired, and I'm a little scared.
I want to sit next to him.
Yeah.
Gonna put a lot of social pressure on this guy that does not deserve it.
You just have your shirt create an arm to put over his shoulders.
What would it be? Be like?
I can.
There we go. He now has a name appropriate.
20.
What's his name?
Henry the
Henry the 21st.
That's a lot of
Oh
you.
shoot, is that 20? Yeah, you're right. I'm
That
silly.
makes sense.
Luckily, you're the most peasant-looking member of the group. So just kinda... What's with all the weirdies?
I have no idea.
I'm wondering how far it'll take for us to actually get him to leave, or at least try to, because the centaur is like taking up most of the room.
Look, I don't have much choice now, do I?
Why are you sitting there?
Wait, who? Which one of us?
You. But
Oh. The seat was empty, and you looked scared, so I figured I could make you not scared by approaching you.
I'm not good with people.
Well, that's fine. Then I'm just going to completely ignore him. Just focus on the other table.
He just stares off into space like
He's
it
just gonna
doesn't
take his
exist.
drink and move to the other table.
Like, we are literally blocking his exit.
He's just gonna... A moment. Can I do this? Yeah. He's just gonna stare at the door.
That's
Yeah.
it. I'm taking off my hood. I just can't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, don't mind me. Look away, man.
Don't be scared.
He had an exit.
Friend, come back. Oh.
Unfortunately, Lily.
What a character. Am I right?
Yeah, well, at least he works hard enough. He pays for his drinks. See, I've seen some strange folk. You look very, well, see, I'm concerned a little bit for my soul, but I suspect you're fine. You look kind of, devilish.
It's a. We were told by the wizard that it was a skin condition, right?
Yeah.
Ah, that explains it. Supposedly, this town was blessed when it was first founded. Was a cleaning guy back at the time, but the original owner, he died. And I got to take the place over thanks to my wonderful charm. But I remember it having something about keeping evil out, and supposing that the covenants made weren't broken, which it'd take a bit of effort. A little bit of which would be me being also dead, so you should be. I think I didn't want to assume you were some kind of evil entity that had managed to thwart the defense and blessing of this town. That, or the priest is a hack.
How old is the town?
Well, it's only a few years old. Those of us who were here as part of the first founding were part of a religious get-together that blessed the town's foundations.
All right. You tell me something?
Sure.
If someone wanted to disappear into this town, they wanted to, say, seek shelter or protection, where would they go?
Oh, that? Plenty of places. There's the old Pit District, which is kind of a slums area. A lot of people who don't want to talk about or be involved with their life before go. Well, that's a tricky thing. A lot of people who founded this place are people who don't want to cling to their old life. I mean, our guy right here, the guide, obviously that's not his real name, but I mean, nobody knows his actual name. He abandoned it. We have another guy, the Whittler, down the street who, he's a bit of a nice Fletcher. He makes plenty of really good arrows for our hunters. He gave up his name too. There's also the Grand Banker, and he's in the higher ups of the town. He also doesn't really go by his name. A lot of people have kind of taken to using titles rather than names in hopes that they can dissuade some of the bad blood they had in their life back before in the Empire. A lot of the people who lived up in these parts before were either criminals or the owners of criminals. So a lot of people didn't really like each other, and so we all just kind of abandoned those old identities, at least those of us who had issues with them. And some people just changed their names because they want to get away from a bad lover.
That's a little upsetting.
Pretty intense foundation of secret identities.
Well, we liked to look at it when we started as second chances. As long as you do your job and don't cause problems in the town, you're welcome here. The guide there, you see that mark under his eye?
Yeah.
He doesn't really mind me telling it too much. It helps give credibility to his position in the town.
Can I, just out of silliness, can I make an insight check to see if he actually doesn't mind?
You can.
Oh, never mind. I don't know anything.
You don't know. He will continue. He kind of just like, he's in his role kind of position, talking rumor and stuff. See, that mark, that burned X under the eye, that's placed there so that it's easy to see and find. That means that he's a convicted criminal and sentenced to slavery for life in the old empire. Don't know what his crimes were, though. He never tells me. But they had to be bad enough to be convicted and punished with slavery for life. But not so bad he was executed, although the Empire was a bit more lenient on its execution of law. We have to be a little bit more stricter in these days, considering if you let some nasty people get away with stuff, they are gonna get really nasty. Everything you have is important and valuable, and you have to kind of play your part. We can't have a thief stealing stuff. It could be someone's livelihood being taken away and all, so Rule is a little harsher than me and my folk would prefer.
Me as well.
But
Yeah,
I get to-
because they definitely let thieving go back in the Empire.
well, you'd lose a hand, but at least you could live. That or you'd be sentenced to either military service, temporary servitude. The branding is permanent servitude, which means he did something a little bit above thievery.
Which I don't suppose you know of any the temples that are in the city. See, I'm a follower of Freyla.
That's the oh, that's the goddess of my own kin.
Ah,
If I remember my lore correctly, I think she is
don't-
considered their patron deity.
have no idea.
I have to double check it. When you don't even know your own lore. What a loser. No. Yeah, she's seen as the goddess of children and halflings. Yeah, we have a Church of Thraknir, one of the popular gods of the Imperial Pantheon, they called it, even though the aristocrats never wanted to acknowledge him, kind of because he's all about, freedom and, the absence of tyrannical authorities.
Right. But so I assume then there is no shrine or temple in the city to her.
Not yet.
At least-
The city's growing, though. If somebody can do the work and get the people to support it, anything could be built in town. The wizard could have been in town if it weren't for the stigma against magic. Although I think he also did that on purpose. Something about explosives and wild experiments.
Is it all forms of magic this town is against, or are they?
Well, see, common folk don't really understand the differences between one kind of magic or another. You see glowy lights, somebody starts acting different than how they normally would. Or someone gets lit on fire and they just blame magic if there's no reasonable answer for where it all came from.
What about the priest that blessed the place?
Well, that's considered a miracle by most.
So
Most people don't understand the similarity of the two.
I see.
Helps that those holy folk, their magic ain't as flashy. That went down the wrong pipe.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Die.
Yeah.
Well, we don't. So we don't have a job. Perhaps we should just attempt to pursue our other goals in the meantime.
Well, no doubt a new job will come in soon. We've, he won't mention it, but we're a little bit short on the whole sellsword stuff. We had a bunch of guys come through, a pair of dwarves and a couple of humans from the north. They came in, they were doing a lot of work, really nice guys, but they went out to investigate some strange business going on in town and never came back. The business slowed down and disappeared, but the banditry went up outside of the town.
Yes, I think we noticed that on our way in. Actually, forget that. I didn't see that. Never mind.
But yeah. You'll likely have some work pretty soon. If you need a place to rest, you just head up those stairs over through that door and up the stairs. We have a inn connected to the establishment. Mary,
Yes,
she's lovely.
I believe we have rooms already.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's a quick go through. I think it is I'd not gotten to it describing it, but it had started to rain lightly outside. Lucky we got the establishment connected. Don't even need to get yourself wet. Well, most of you.
Well, this has been lovely, but we have business to attend to.
Oh, yeah. Take care of your needs and such. I'm just, if you get me chatting, I can just chat all day. People share so much information with me. I know so many things and stories. But I don't know. It's all just a fireside chat, you know? Oh,
I'm
what
gonna
the heck?
look over to the guide. So you're just here all the time every day, so we can come over anytime tomorrow and see if you've got anything?
Other than in the early morning, unless I've got something urgent, I do visit the authorities to get the coin. All my jobs are officially sanctioned by the Grand Banker or the Duke, whichever one is currently in town.
All right. Well, if there's anything really urgent, we're staying next door, so let us know.
Good to know. Actually, it's about all the paperwork I need to follow. I'm gonna, considering the new folks are tucking in for the evening as well, I'll be back tomorrow. Leaving early then. Alright, bye. Just kind of back up his stuff and go. With no jobs and no reason to stick around and nothing to give out, he will vanish, basically.
Did we ever ask the wizard? Sorry, I wasn't there for the wizard part. So, did we ever ask him about Xanran?
Yeah,
Okay. Did he know?
we didn't get much.
He doesn't. I think you asked when you first got the job, and he doesn't know the guy.
I'm gonna ask this lady the same question. Do you know of a Xanran?
Which lady?
The only lady that is working here that is attached to this part of the building.
That's a dude.
Is it a dude?
Your token is here,
yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
You're talking about this guy?
Tablin.
Oh, it's a guy. Totally looks like a girl from far away.
He's a little halfling.
Little me.
I'm going to ask him. Oh gosh. So from my point of view, since I couldn't see his token very well, it looks like a lady. Like just
It does
a
have pretty
village or
well-kept locks.
lady.
Although I think that's because it's the default bard image for Pathfinder. It's literally the only halfling with alcohol I could find. Which shouldn't be a rare thing to find when you think about it.
This is true.
But I had a hard time finding a halfling with a bunch of alcohol who didn't look like he was suited up for war.
Anyway, same question. Do you know of a Xanran?
Xanran. Let me see. I have details on my important NPCs and what they know. Babylon Kaoru. K-Oru. Oryu. That's how I said it when I first came up with it. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let me see. It sparks a little something. It's a little familiar. I think that was a family name for some group of some of the old Empire aristocrats. A lot of them went and vanished after their cities were burned. Imagine a lot of them died. The survivors, I hear a number of stories. Some pretend to be Anasnian nobles so they can still use all their wealth without people being angry about how they treated them during the time of the Empire. Beyond that, they could be anybody. Humans typically. I think that was their family were human in heritage, and not much. I believe that they were just kind of closer to this area in their origin. So if somebody by that name lives here, might be. I haven't met anybody who goes by such a name, so I imagine they might have left their name behind or such. Why? Does he owe you money?
Something like that.
He owes someone else money.
Ah, doing work for somebody else. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. If you want, I can ask around, but sometimes if somebody knows someone is looking for them, they might cocktail and run.
I think we'd prefer to keep it quiet.
Yeah, keep it hush hush.
Well, hey, I'm friendly. I'll keep an ear out. See if I hear anything about it. But otherwise, I won't go asking around, so that he doesn't jump bail on you.
That would be very much appreciated.
Yeah. I would suggest asking Mary about it. She in the side work of the tavern or of the inn sometimes gets more information out of people than I do, but she doesn't talk much on those things. You'd really need to get her to trust you, and you're new here, that's not gonna happen. Not anytime soon yet, that's for sure. Wish I could provide more info, but alas, I don't know them.
Yeah. Neither do we.
What the heck is going on in chat?
Just give a name. I know, right?
We're getting drunk. Don't worry about it.
Cherry flavor, let's go.
Yep.
Just hey, it's useful.
Yeah.
At this point, Lily's probably just like fiddling with her drink, not sure if she should drink it or not. Is it going to kill me? Or is it going to be fine?
Eventually it will.
Imran will hand his drink over to Danny's.
Ooh, much appreciated.
Oh, that was a fancy way of walking away.
At this point, Sir Aquarius has been standing in the same position and the same stare on his face that he looks like he's turned to stone.
You okay?
So wait, who was drunk? Not like drunk as in tipsy, but like who has drunk from their drink?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I imagine this is better than the stuff we got from the town that got destroyed.
It's not watered down. This is proper stuff.
It's not nearly watery enough for Aquarius.
Nope.
It's a little weird. It is a little weird though. It tastes too sweet to be dwarven, but too bitter to be elvish. But it's too well developed to be the work of unwashed human peasants.
So it's its own stuff. As long as it's not dwarvish, I'm good.
Probably a halfling brew.
So
Good, relatively. I don't know what alcohol is actually like as a person, so I can't give a description.
Terrible.
Yeah, I suspect. But on the scale of alcohols, it is a finer quality. That is a level of understanding I'm fine not having.
On
We
a
can just-
scale of 1 to 10, it's a solid 6.5.
We should probably come up with some sort of plan in order to track down this individual.
Oh,
We could.
the pie is just mwah, good.
Mm.
He is a good cook.
Is it really cherry cake or pie? Cherry pie.
Actually, I was gonna say it was a local berry.
Oh, the cherry is something character specific between me and Floriku.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Well,
So it's a
about
local cherry pie. So
about
like
the
a razzleberry
So,
pie. Ooh.
how do we want to tackle this? I can't say that I'm used to. Well, I mean, I tracked you down, Lily, but that was more of a stroke of luck than anything else.
Yeah, I think the fact that I really didn't have any coverings whatsoever probably helped in that area too.
Yep.
If this whole, being a tiefling thing really is a bad thing. I don't see why though, but
It's not. People just think it is because they're afraid.
people are dumb. That's why.
That's just a universal statement. The two most common elements in the universe are hydrogen and stupidity.
Mm.
Huh.
Yep.
But yeah, here. Does anybody have experience hunting people down?
I mean, not so much people, maybe like animals, but that's not really helpful here.
I don't know. That's pretty much the same thing, perhaps.
Maybe, I mean, if I knew what his, you know, um, what his foot size looked like and, that good stuff. And maybe where he'd been recently, or
Maybe we just walk around till our marks tell us we're getting closer.
well, about the only lead we've got is that it's a noble name, right? So it'd be best if we looked into if like maybe nobles have come by recently or like there've new folks been introduced into that kind of circle.
mm,
I get the feeling we're getting involved in something a lot bigger than we really want to be.
not like we have much of a choice though.
I
mean,
I don't know what this mark is gonna do to us if we don't do what the headless horseman told us to.
You weren't really there for it, and I don't think I was the most clear, but the wizard hypothesized that the mark itself doesn't do anything directly to you.
Yeah, but I don't trust that guy.
Fair enough. Yeah, he postulated though that it acts as some kind of sensor or beacon to use modern speak for the Dullahan to keep track of your emotions and to know or have some idea of what you're doing, or not the details, but like who you're around so that it can detect its intended target. That's his.
The threat is not
hypothesis.
necessarily from the mark, it's from the Dullahan if it thinks that we're not doing a good job.
So then we need to. Do you think? Will it just tell us if we get close to the individual? Is that what this is?
I mean, it might, but
Maybe one of us should, just stare at it to see if it, I don't know, creates an arrow mark or something, like, or like words like "go left" or "go right." We're
3
getting
miles.
warmer.
Turn left in 3 miles.
Make a U-turn.
Turn around to kill this son of a.
Proceed to the route. Just over and over.
Recalculating.
All right. I'm gonna try something. Just so if this mark connects us to that Dullahan, then can we directly interact with it as we are right now? And I will try to focus on the mark and think about something akin to we are in the city or something like that.
All right. Okay. Your character class is like the only one that I think I can do this with. Thinking about it logically, so sure. If you focus your mind on it, you feel a strange kind of link, a presence that's not your own. And since you have a clearer, better ability to, shall we say, empathetically read something, you can feel like a strong, burning hatred. You don't know if you're able to actually communicate to what you're feeling, but you can feel the Dullahan's existence through the link.
Is the hatred directed? Like directed very clearly not towards us, or?
It seems to be well, I can't think of any other way to describe it. That burning anger of vengeance, that want to just smash somebody in the face because of what they did. It's a very particularly directed hatred, yes.
It's a feeling I am familiar with.
Did the wizard ever tell us what exactly a Dullahan is?
He expressed that the Dullahan, or at the very least this one, is likely a person's spirit that is lingered out of a desire for vengeance, and with the suggestion of a betrayal that is, yeah, kind of like a revenant, similar in function. Of course, there are differences in its nature, and a Dullahan might be able to exist outside of the normal circumstances of a revenant, but this one at least seems to match a similar description to something like a haunting ghost or a revenant, something that is lingering because it has a vendetta.
For the time being, we just need to if we do anything that it considers a threat, it might come after us.
Yeah. I will denote, it doesn't seem to recognize or register your attempt to contact it. So the amount of knowledge it gets through the connection may not be perfect understanding.
Guys, I went to turn off my fish and I found my beta dead.
Oh. I mean, to be fair, it was looking like it was ready to kick like 2 weeks ago, but that's still sad.
Bye-bye, darling. Thanks for the perfect
By the sounds of it, he can't get to us in here anyways. The city's all sorts protected. The wizard was saying he thinks that's why we've been sent.
So if we can, by the same count, if we can force this person out of the city, maybe the Dullahan can take care of the rest?
I don't know.
I can't. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything.
That's in character, me posing that idea.
For all we know, I mean, it could be just like, hey, locate this person, or it could be, hey, locate this person and bring him back to me. For all we know.
Gosh.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we can't do anything without knowing where or who this person is. So that makes that the highest priority for me.
All right. It's pretty late at this point, right?
Yeah, it's raining. It's dark.
One thing I like is rain.
I would posit that we should try getting a sense of the town tomorrow. The marks seem to grow. I can, from what I understand, I can sense the creature's hatred through this link. It's perhaps its hatred grows stronger the closer we get, meaning we have some general idea of where it could be, where this individual it's after could be.
Maybe. I mean, for me, that depends on if the mark is bound to the person that we're trying to find or the Dullahan. Because if it just knows it's here, then the mark just like only having an effect in here makes sense if it's just the Dullahan. But if it is bound to the person that we're tracking, that makes it a lot more useful.
As far as I can tell, it's bound to the Dullahan. As far as I'm able to gather or sense. Which
That is my impression as well, which would make me assume that we couldn't actually find him using it. But I mean, it's worth a try.
at the very least, we know that this individual is probably staying in the city to keep themselves protected against this Dullahan.
Right.
So they're probably not going to leave anytime soon without very clear provocation.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I wanted to talk to you guys about this is a little strange. My abilities are I'm able to sense, manipulate, and utilize emotions or people's and my own emotions for certain things. One of the things I can do is I can alter your emotional state. During during heated conflicts and other things like that, I can manipulate certain things to reasonably cause certain effects. But I just wanted to make sure you all understand that that is something I can do and that you are all okay with it.
Well, my primary ability is the ability to focus my rage into a fury in combat, right? So as long as it doesn't interfere with that, but it sounds like it might.
Yes, I could theoretically alter that, though I would only do it if such a situation presented itself that I needed to.
All right.
I could also make you angrier.
Could be useful for sure.
Though you seem to have mastered the emotion of anger all on your own.
We'll call it a good start. I can tell I have a bit of a ways to go.
As for the rest of you, I can. It's difficult of trying to influence others' emotions, so far, those that I've mastered are mastered loosely. Is I'm able to calm you, excite you. This is me explaining my abilities. So I can do calm, I can do calm, excite, fury, languor, and panic, which each all have different things I can do, but I don't know how to explain it in character.
See. I'm cool with it. It sounds interesting.
Could be useful. Very cool.
I just don't want to step on anybody's toes by doing it without some form of permission beforehand.
So, what would happen if I were angry and you calmed me?
I assume you would be calmed. That is, it is me projecting an emotion onto you.
You have to feel the emotion you're projecting.
I don't actually know that. I assume
sure.
so.
I'm not the most familiar with all the ways that the class works. It's been a long time since I read through it.
Let's see. Can alter the emotional state of a creature.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't have to feel it, but it's more of I seek to master emotions in emotional states, and I can kind of project certain emotions onto you. As I said, I have not. There's only so many I can do. Projecting emotions onto others is not always the easiest thing to do.
It sounds kind of similar to what sprites do.
I don't know what sprites can do.
They can
detect if, like, what someone's feeling, and then they can also see if they're good or not.
They can do similar things, yes.
They can't project emotions, though.
I personally like to feel my own emotions. Unless it's a danger to everyone else, I would rather not my emotions get messed with.
I understand.
Have you been doing it have you done it to any of us before already?
I've done it to Lily, but she's my sister, so I feel a little...
With it.
Yes.
Does it cause physical, like anything physical when you do it?
I don't know how to explain this in character.
I take 2.
Are we aware?
I would say
probably.
I mean, it's a sudden change in emotion.
You are aware, I believe. Sorry, I'm trying to read this really quick. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't say Josh, but I'm gonna assume, like my other emotion, like my detect emotion thing, that the person's aware that I'm altering their state.
Okay.
So, you did what? Excite on me? Battle?
Yes, I did.
And I don't remember what that does.
Excite.
I'm trying to answer it in character.
Yeah.
Like someone who's had it happen.
Yeah, excite you can't take reactions, but your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay. So essentially, when he did it to me, it made it so that I was more aware of being able to get to places faster. Like, I had more. How would you say it? Had more.
More attentive.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Uh, if anything, it kind of felt like I could do anything. Like running a mile would not be a problem for me, even though I'd probably, in actuality, die halfway through.
To be clear, the specifics of what I projected onto you, Lily, falls under the realm of Hatsya. The idea of excitement, joy, happiness, and movement.
Okay.
Sorry, Rainbow. How do you pronounce your character's name?
Imran.
Imran?
Yeah, either one works.
Okay. Well then, Imran, I am intrigued by this ability of yours. As long as it doesn't kill me, I give you permission to use it on me if you see fit.
To be clear, the idea is to try to prevent you from dying with these.
Yeah.
But yes, I understand.
I am perfectly okay if you use it on me. I mean, I basically use it as similar type thing on all of you.
What?
Pardon?
At the beginning of combat, usually I inspire people. It's almost the same thing, but non-magical.
Oh.
He just has such a great presence.
I kind of force it on you guys.
Yeah, it's like the hair, or maybe it's the eyes, or
No, it's definitely
weird.
Spending 20 minutes to get
thing.
consent for buffs doesn't get consent.
Granted, most of the time I give it all to our centaur, so
I think it's just the way he is.
something like that.
It is inspiring.
True fish out of water. Always inspiring.
Especially when
Look
that
at my
fish is thriving.
gloriousness, and you are inspired to fight harder and faster.
Like,
Well-
if a fish out of water can do it, so can I.
While we're going about it, maybe everyone else should kind of explain what they do so we don't trip over each other in a fight.
You have about seen the extent of my powers.
Me too.
I have a big sword and I can swing it well.
If anyone doesn't wear armor and they want to be protected, then I have a spell for that.
Well, that would actually be extremely helpful.
Don't wear armor, but I also have unarmored defense.
His muscles say no. I made that a racial feature for one of the races. I remember, like strength mod to armor class instead of dex because they just have
nice.
muscles that are too tough. I guess there's just something about having muscles that go, no, I am not hurt.
I
You
feel
can't
that.
hurt me. I can flex.
Yeah. I wear leather armor that basically just brings me up as like a +1 to my AC. that's about it. So, that ability sounds fantastic.
Well, you couldn't wear the armor when the ability activates.
Hmm.
It's getting hot.
Guess I'll take off all my sorry.
I'm guessing you're
Oh,
talking about
gosh.
Mage Armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're able to cast that on others?
Yeah, it's a
Technically, I
touch
think,
spell.
yeah, I think the spell can actually be cast on others.
On a willing creature.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was only self. Guess previous editions self only.
Might be the case. Makes sense. In previous editions, spell buffing or buff stacking was the thing. Ugh.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go off of like battle and like what we can do, I mean, we've kind of already seen a little bit of what I can do, which is basically create miniature earthquakes. Other than that, I mean, I can be animals. I can pretend really well.
As druid spell list.
Yeah. I can also heal people. Like if
I can heal.
not feeling so hot, I can make you feel a little better. If you're kind of feeling sick, I can kind of make you feel better that way too. But that's about it, I guess.
Okay, I gotta check something real quick because I think
I can break things.
I know.
Like I can really break things. Like I once used this thing and it destroyed a tree. It was cool. But I don't use it very often because it's also kind of scary. But it's also really cool.
Oh, okay. Okay,
All
that
I
makes
heard was, "Oh, okay."
Wait.
Josh,
I had to check something, and because I know that you've never actually played a dedicated caster class before.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna note because I remember because I thought it was a little weird that you would only use like 2 spells. So I'm gonna do a little informative here for you, Steph. For future reference, as a druid, you can swap out the spells you know every time you take a long rest.
Mhm.
And you can have a number of spells prepared equal to your wisdom mod, 3, plus your level. So you can prepare 6 spells every evening.
Okay.
Clarify, you have access to the entire druid spell list every long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know your last character was a ranger, so your spell list was very
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah.
And now you have a lot more
Oh.
freedom.
Yeah, all the druid spells.
Yeah. Just wanted to bring that up because I had this sneaking fear that crept into my mind that you might just go the entire game with only like the same few spells collected all the time.
Hey, they are good spells.
All right, yeah. I only say because I have made some mistakes sometimes when it comes to keeping my spell lists in check as well. And because you're my sibling, I have to look out for you as the DM.
Like, I'm getting the good brother front on both ends, in game and out of game.
Yeah, well,
Weird.
once you get into combat, I'm not your brother anymore.
You're my enemy. Frenemy?
enemy. Anyway, I did not want to distract. I don't have anything to push things along. So as long as you guys are enjoying the conversation, go right on ahead. It's easy for me to run this.
Well, y'all have seen most of what I can do. Summon a weapon, attack, very minor magic, which is either defensive for myself or hit harder. So not a lot to it there. And obviously, I don't understand it.
Fascinating.
All right, Firehead Man. What can you do?
There are a few things I can bring to the table. In our undead fight, you guys saw a few of them, and there's a few more. I guess the way I was raised to be able to either hit hard or flee when needed. So I've got some things I'd like to keep to myself for the moment, but in need be, I can get out of a sticky situation, you could say.
Okay. So you're a hit and run tactic person.
If need be. I like to hit first and let the hit do the damage, but if I bite off more pie than I can chew, then yeah.
Sassy pie pocket.
Nobody can bite off more pie than they can chew. Sorry, it's just not possible. You either eat it or you die trying.
I want to swallow my tongue.
What is going on the side? Oh my gosh.
Every time I start to glaze over, I wake myself up by reading what the conversation in the chat is.
I'm gonna have to like go through this and read everything back from the beginning because I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think that just leaves you. Solar, was it?
Yes, Solar. That's me, I think. So, as you saw, my clear, wide variety of skills, such as swinging this sword that I have, and that's kind of all you've seen me do. I can. Was that something I was supposed to hear?
I don't think so.
Okay. I can do this with my shirt, and my shirt's gonna start looking like it's blowing in the wind. That's I like doing that.
I must know
It
how
starts
do you do this.
sort of rigidly,
Wow.
and then it gets into the flow perfectly. And just kind of.
Sir Aquarius marches over and is like, teach me this power.
Okay, so you want to like flex your chest
Okay.
and
That's
do it
sexy.
really good.
Nothing happens. But the shirt continues to wobble and shift like it's in the wind.
Aquarius, I think I see something.
You do? I must try harder. I will learn.
Yeah, but this isn't some of the other stuff I can do. He's gonna pull out one of his like tentacles. I have a few of these things. They can't lift very much, but they're useful to grab things.
Does it retain the appearance of the clothing texture, or do you want it to return to its own fleshiness?
It's on my fleshiness.
Okay.
Yippee.
Yeah, a fleshy tentacle just forms out of his clothing.
There's a reason I don't have these out often. It's because they're weird to look at, even for me at times.
It will wave.
Yeah.
I'm making an assumption because you control the tentacles, I remember.
Yes.
Okay. So every single one of us is weird in some way.
I have something else for you. I am going to. What is it? What's it called? Where is it? I'm going to B-shape into a horse.
One moment.
And I'm going to, while B-shaped, make eye contact with like Thanos. That's me.
Beautiful.
I forgot. I don't remember if I can talk during this. I need to check that. Your ability to speak or take any action that requires hands, including the state is limited to capability
Nay. I think you would say nay.
That's funny.
And then I'm just gonna transform back to normal after that one quick flex.
Pop.
Well,
And yeah, that's basically it for me. Unless you're dying, then I can make you not die as quickly.
what else can you turn into?
Oh boy, I could turn into a bird. And I
Is it
shall.
the same size as you, or is it a tiny bird?
It's the average bird size. And I'm gonna transform into a raven.
Were you that dog earlier?
Mm-mm. I can't turn into a dog.
Oh. Was that
Yeah,
just
that was me.
Right,
Oh.
Raven.
yes.
Dog.
Can you fly as the raven, Solar?
Can I is the question. I believe I can, yeah. Oh, I was playing against you.
Is that like a racial ability, or is that something to do with the class?
I'm pretty sure it's the class. No, yeah, it's the class.
Hmm.
Yeah. Caca and all that. And then we're gonna turn back to normal.
Imaginary, what class are you?
Oh, man.
I'm a Valkyrie.
You can be a horse too, right?
Yes, I can be a horse.
Right.
a horse or a raven.
Of course.
I can
that's
also
not
talk
fun.
to them. I could talk to horses and basically any bird.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of it for me, though.
I can
All right.
talk to animals too.
Oh, heck yeah.
I can
Thumbs
talk
up.
to the dead.
Creepy.
I can talk to you guys. What's with y'all?
I can talk to fish.
I can talk to people, kind of.
Social anxiety.
I can talk to demon. No, I probably shouldn't say that. I can be a bat.
Ooh.
Speaking of talking,
Ooh.
I can speak a couple languages.
Alien.
Did you know these languages before, or did you just find out you could speak them later?
I knew them. Though I can magically speak and do other languages, but yeah, I've got Elven, your guys' basic speech, Draconic, and Goblin.
Nice. Also, Josh, as a side note,
Eh,
on my D&D page, I need you to remove the druidic speech.
I cannot remove it.
How can I remove that?
You
Just don't
cannot.
know.
It is
Just ignore the fact that it's on there.
it is integrated into the actual program with druids.
I don't know
Okay.
druidic, guys. I don't.
Prove
It's
it.
not something I know. So, I was a self-taught druid, so I actually don't know druidic language. Woohoo! Now you know something more about me. Woo.
We're waiting for the day that Primordial actually pays off because this is the second character in a row. That's my second language.
It paid off for one moment last campaign.
It did?
Yeah.
Let's make this a competition.
O'Meal, Tia, the flippin' keyword to activate the flame tongue sword.
Oh.
O'Meal told Tia it was just. So anytime that sword got activated, it was.
Alright. Oh my, I've been being messaged.
This is why I asked the thing about XP is sometimes you don't fight.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Bar fight.
In the end, the focus is
Power fight.
play the game.
All fun and games until somebody gets stuck on the hanging tree.
Bar fight, that's the one situation I think I could possibly maybe do as well as Thanos. In very small quarters.
So Aquarius mounts Thanos and we're all doomed.
So it would be a
That's
beeline for that.
That's not a bar fight, that's a bar massacre.
Bar
Well, I'm just
mitzvah.
saying he wouldn't be able to run around as easily.
That's okay.
All I gotta do is go through that door into the end part and shoot him from the stairs.
High ground.
So I procured us 3 rooms. I don't know how we're splitting or if Than has found a place to stay. I'm not sure the plans.
Well, because I believe that it was established that because we were mercenaries, we got a free stable if I don't fit in one of the rooms.
Yeah.
Which, if we only have 3, that makes sense.
You can have one of the dry spaces.
Yeah.
Forget. Did you want somebody there with you? Like, I'm not sure any of us should be alone.
I mean, if one of you is willing to sleep in the stable, sure.
I wouldn't mind it.
Not ready.
Who said that?
Justin.
And I assume me and Lily will take a room.
Yeah.
On head.
Yeah.
I think that's a little dangerous with the fire.
Probably more like on shoulder, but yeah.
Just slowly roasts himself.
Is your hair actually just on fire?
My hair?
Yeah.
It's not actual fire. It flows and glows like fire, but if you were to actually touch it, it would just be like normal hair.
Okay.
Jeez.
I like it.
One too many.
Does it give off light then?
It has a faint glow, but it's no more than like firefly would.
He's bioluminescent.
One too many a time have I had a smoker try and use it to light.
I'd love to see somebody trying to light a pipe with someone's hair.
I honestly, when I saw the sprite, I was like, oh, it looks like Hades from Hercules. Just one whiff and that thing is out. Now it explains it. So much cooler than Hades' hair.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
I think the Imran's just gonna start to head towards bed.
All right. You make ways to seek rest as the rainy evening passes by. Unless there is more, I will assume that you take the long rest without hazard or issue.
I'm gonna choke down that alcohol before, leaving. But it's not gonna be great.
No, it's not.
I did it as courtesy.
Yeah. Sorry. Got distracted. All right. I'm not sure. Well, it's alcohol. It's not pleasant.
Obviously.
Sorry. I keep seeing chat. And I
Lily,
love
are
it.
you are you okay, Lily? You look a little.
Remind me never to try what everyone else is having.
Noted.
It was really gross.
Like, how gross? Because I didn't want to try it in front of everybody. Because you've seen one drunk person, and one bad drunk person, and
I totally
you wonder.
I totally thought that pop-up was like a problem with my screen. I'm like, just ignore it, cancel. And it was telling me to take a constitution roll.
Players can just refuse to roll. Roll dice. No.
I like to think that in combat, it would just be the character crossing their arms and being like, no, I don't want to fight.
Okay.
Roll damage. No.
I get pop-ups on my computer all the time telling me to upgrade my computer or
Would you like to upgrade to Windows 11?
yeah, pretty much. And I'm like,
I'll stick to
no,
Windows
click
6.
that off. So to describe the alcohol, basically it felt like my tongue and my throat and my stomach was on fire. Not great.
What do
Like, remember like the medicine that we would get as kids for when we got sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but 10 times worse.
Why would people drink that?
I know, right? It's like, ew. Who wants that gross stuff? And it came out from a field or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, don't
Well-
drink that stuff. It's gross.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. Though Fanny seems to really like it.
Yeah,
It's
she might be addicted to it or something.
But if you keep drinking it, there's got to be something, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's like somewhat addictive or something. I don't know.
Maybe the stuff here is just bad.
Maybe maybe we should convert them to water. I think the Fishman Aquarius might be on our side for that. Although he was drinking it just as much.
Yeah, but he looked like disappointed though.
Yeah. We should probably convert everyone to water.
How do you? That weirds me out. Like, how would you enjoy drinks under the water?
Right? That's kind of weird.
You put into the water and you swim around in it. It's a social activity.
Maybe it's like oil or something that like floats at the top?
Imran will walk over to the wall, knock on it, and say, "You're not supposed to be listening."
Oh, sorry. Very loudly fake snores.
I know these walls are thin, but can you stop, eavesdropping? As cool as our conversation is.
She'll just fake snore even louder.
So, when should we kill these guys? Totally joking. They don't know that though.
Yeah, Imran's just gonna go to sleep, I guess. I don't like all these rolls that are happening here.
Right? Yeah, I'm roll for initiative.
Oh no.
I think sometimes Josh just rolls to make people nervous.
What's
That's
going
right.
on?
I don't like the plus 15.
Sleep
Dullahan's here.
What is going on?
Just
Would I
making
have
noises.
to roll if I drank a whole cup?
No.
Oh,
Mostly
okay,
did
so-
that because nobody drank in excess, but somebody was new.
I see.
That may have been Solar's first time drinking alcohol.
Was it?
Solar is an alien.
Maybe, yeah.
And it was my first time in this life.
High five.
You still have the experiences from the last one.
Like, how does the alcohol compare to 500 years ago?
Unless, of course,
Used
you're
like a button.
volunteering to risk being sickened for some roleplay fun.
Nah, I just slowly sipped on mine. It's not as good as Elvish wine.
Mm.
I took big sips.
Solar, roll a Constitution save.
Oh boy. Oh boy. It's
Oh, so
+4.
I wonder what this would do to an alien.
10. 10.
The tentacles have a mind of their own.
Oh no.
Have you ever seen
Yes.
those clips of babies harassing their mothers during the night?
They just stand at the edge of the bed.
No, where they constantly try sleeping on top of their head or something.
You being like pets?
Yeah.
You are being bugged by your tentacles all night. Just occasionally, one will just pop. Your clothes will restrict, because technically the clothing and the tentacles are all one creature. So it's just bugging you occasionally while you're sleeping. It also becomes a mattress, like it poofs up behind you at times as well. It's just weird. It has a mind of its own. You've unleashed a fraction of the beast's own will. And apparently, it's an annoying little pest.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
At some point in the middle of the night, there's just thump, 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 thump.
What have I gotten myself into?
Restless foot syndrome and all.
We'll go here, Toaster. Right?
What's up, sorry?
We'll go here, Toaster. That's
Yeah.
done. Okay.
Oh, are we leaving Danny so low in the shed?
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about it. But Aquarius, not only does he get
Yeah, I thought Toaster was staying with Thanos.
I thought so as well, and then we didn't move. Is this where we're sleeping? Just
I don't know,
up
but as
and
you
down.
walk
Well,
in,
I don't have the
Aquarius
stables
knows
map,
matters.
so I can't move him there.
Aquarius is sprawled out and snoring very loudly. You don't know if it's real or not.
I just thought about it. It's really quite unfortunate for Aquarius because not only does he get the thumping from next door, but he gets the low glow from the his other friend.
Not to mention the quiet conversation from the other room. How's anybody supposed to get any sleep?
He's used to fish life swimming around him the whole time, so.
That's true.
What do you think, Toaster? Do you want to go sleep with Thanos?
Might as well. Gives us a chance to explore nature just a tad bit more.
Oh, yay!
The
Yeah.
other room are just
Phase
like,
through
shut
walls.
up.
We have entered the great beyond.
Constantly banging on the wall throughout the night with the storm.
Just occasionally. There's just an occasional dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun.
Maybe we should bang back.
Morse code.
Why make it worse?
It's like a
Help
Morse
me.
code between walls. Oh my god.
And meanwhile, Mary's just thinking to herself, good thing I don't have any other clients.
Just all throughout the night, it's shut up. Bang, bang, bang.
That and checking her book. She's sure, yeah, and you're just making noise.
When does she sleep?
On occasion.
Hmm.
She runs a business that's supposed to be open so people can arrive at any time that they need the space.
Hmm.
Do you not have like a backup person?
You haven't met them yet. If they do exist,
They should exist.
Hey, yo, Josh.
they should. Yeah.
Am I able to roll to look for any like plant life around before we go to sleep?
It depends on what you're looking for. If there's a general concept or a specific one.
Just plant life in general,
You're
not
just-
a specific plant.
Just observing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just you wouldn't have to roll if you're just trying to observe plants. Admittedly,
Cool.
it's a little difficult. I will actually need I will need you to roll a perception check for me
Or because it's dark outside?
because it's dark and it's raining.
I have dark vision, if that helps.
Yeah, I still need the roll.
Okay. Is that just a d20?
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
All right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well,
Plants.
I'll learn to open my eyes one day.
I mean, without light, it's hard to tell a little bit the difference between one plant and another. Dark vision doesn't grant you the ability to really tell the difference
That's
between
fair.
hues.
Does my hair help at all?
Tiny
I was
little,
about to say it, but his hair is light.
tiny bit of light. There are bushes, there are trees. Most of the plants are a little bit of a distance from the outer edge of the town wall. You wouldn't be going out of town per se, completely. No, you wouldn't want to do that because you have a patrol or a watch keeping an eye on the front or on the gates. You don't want any untoward visitors and all.
Well, thank you.
So within town, not really much. There are little bushes, some shrubs that seem to refuse to die.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's all from me.
I will assume that that's everybody taking care of their fun.
Mhm.
All right. That you have yourselves a long rest.
Cool.
If you are missing hit points or anything, go ahead and reset those back to your normal full. Regain some regain your spell slots, so on and so forth. Okay. Well, I will call the session to close there.
Sounds good.
We had a social session.
Yay.
Yeah,
okay,
sounds good.
Social session.